Hey guys, welcome to the stream. This is Rod Arriagada coming to you live from Pine Creek First Nation, and we're here for the 2021 Chief and Council General Elections. My name is Rod Arriagada. I'll be your host, your commentator. This stream has been brought to you by Turtle Nation Holdings, and well, let's just get into things right now. Why not? Let's just change the angle. And as promised, I was going to try to get in before 8, around 8 or after 8. I got there just before 8. We do have some more people coming in right now who are, I guess, getting their votes in just before 8 o'clock. We'll call them the last minute crew, literally, because there's only like 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. And so we got everything set up here. We'll show you guys the board. So there's the board for chief. Number or 2 boards for council. There's still more though, because there's 3 more on there at the end. Well, actually, technically it's 4. But I kind of broke it up into 2. So there's all the names. That's how the board is looking right now. And so yeah, we still got some people coming in. It looks like we're probably going to end up setting up our 2 tables right here in the middle. This is where they're going to do the ballot counts. We're just waiting for 8 o'clock to come around the corner. Once it does, and at that point, we're going to go straight into the ballot counts. Well, I shouldn't say we're going to go straight into the ballot counts because that's not really up to me, but I'm assuming that we will. Normally, we process mail-in ballots first. There wasn't a lot of them. There wasn't a whole lot of them, so I'm assuming that we'll probably do that a little bit faster than normal. Sometimes mail-in ballots will take up to an hour, so I can tell you, well, you know what, I won't even tell you. I'm going to go check out the numbers right now. I'm going to get a confirmation on the numbers. I'll be right back. I'll let you guys know. I do know that we have, I believe, over 1,000 votes so far, and some more coming in. So let me go find out what the numbers are. I'll be right back. All right, so we had 508 ballots that were done in advance polls, and we're currently at 493 or 94 in person. Plus, we have the 21 plus ballots, which I believe will be under 30. Whew, running out of breath there, man. Let's see. I don't feel like doing math right now, so 495, let's say, because there was a couple people that came in. 508, and we'll average it down, or we'll average it up to 30. It might be less on the mail-ins, but so altogether with an estimated of 30 on the mail-ins, we got 1,033 votes in so far. And the time's about to run out, and we're going to get into things. So that looks like roughly what the count is going to be. For those of you that are, wondering about that kind of stuff. The calm before the storm, because we're about to get into things. Pretty exciting, guys. This is what it's all about, right? We've all been waiting for this moment, the beginning of the ballot counts. Well, really, we're actually more or less waiting for the results of the ballot counts, but the beginning of the ballot counts is what we all look forward to, because that's all the excitement, right? To see, how everything worked out. I believe these will be the last 2 people that voted. Congratulations, guys. You were the last ones in. If there was a prize, you would have got it. Beat the clock by 1 minute. Oh, well, like 30 seconds. But so there'll be an official call that all polls are closed. And at that point, they're going to start setting up the tables in the middle area. And that's going to be for the ballot counts. So we're going to back this up a little bit so you guys can, that's all the people here on the right, that's all the scrutineers, all the people that are going to help mark and all that, and that's where they're all at. Yeah, polls are closed. You guys can see that right now. I'm going to kind of push over here so you guys see they're closing the doors. Polls are closed. I'll leave this out like this so you guys can see the ballot boxes and everything too. Nobody's touching them right now. Nobody's touching them at all. And if they do get moved in any way whatsoever, we're just going to keep it on the boxes the whole time. When I will go into, I guess, a closer view will be once we have the table set up so that I can adjust my camera angles to those tables. That's about it. How you doing, Angel? Welcome back. Robert Snober wants to know, what about outstanding mail-in ballots? Well, I don't know what you mean by outstanding because they were already due. You had at the very latest, you had until today at 8 o'clock tonight to bring it in. At the very latest. I mean, you could have mailed it in. That's the proper way. But if you weren't able to mail it in and you had somebody that was coming here to vote, you could have sent it out with them and then they could have, brought it in for you. Linda Gell, do you need markers? I don't think so. There's a lot of people in here right now, so I don't think so. Ernest Nipanak, welcome to the stream. And Jennifer Nipanak, welcome to the stream. If you guys can take a second to maybe like and share the stream for me again, if somebody can put the, well, I think I was able to do it last time, right? So let's see. Yeah, there it is. So I'm going to post that right now, and there's the link for sharing this if you want to share this. I'll pin it. Well, I tried to pin it, but it wouldn't let me. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, no, it says that I pinned it, but I didn't pin it. Interesting. Try to pin it again and it's not doing it, so I'm not sure what's up with that. But that's the link for you guys, and I'll bring down this like and share because it's kind of been staring at you guys for a few seconds here. But yeah, thank you for liking and share first of all from the last stream today, because you guys were able to help me reach a lot of your members in the community, and I appreciate that. And the likes, of course, I'm going to go back and take a look at that video and see if there's any comments or anything like that, any feedback on the stream quality, and if there's anything that I can improvise on or whatnot. Maybe my comedy can be better, I don't know. But we're going to get into things right away. They're just doing the shutdown of the last little things there, and then they're going to move into setting up the tables, which is the next part. And I think I might have to go over there and help them out, actually, to be honest. I think I might just have to. Very nerve-wracking. LOL. Best of luck, everyone, says Samantha loves Essence. Lisa Lynn. Do late mail-in ballots count? Well, what do you mean? Like, as if they're here anytime after today at 8 o'clock? No. Anytime before 8 o'clock, yes. But if you were to try to hand in the mail-in ballot, say tomorrow, or even, tonight after the ballot counts are done, it's too late. The ballots are shut down. The polling stations are done at 8 o'clock. So at that point on, we're not allowed to take any more ballots no matter what. That's within your code. Angel Chartrand says, good luck, everyone. Leo Chartrand Jr. says, good luck to all candidates. Welcome to the stream, Leo. Angel wants to know if I ate. Well, I did and I didn't. I mean, I went to the restaurant to go buy some food. I asked for, they had rye bread or white bread, and I can't eat white bread, so I asked for rye bread, and I ordered a clubhouse sandwich, and I ended up getting a white bread clubhouse sandwich, so I ended up not eating that. But thankfully, I was smart enough to order a salad. Somebody said Caesar salad, so I ordered a Caesar salad, and that saved the day for me. Definitely going to try to get something on the road when we head back tonight. Froggy Peranto, good luck. Everybody. Lisa Lynn, sad. That's really sad they won't count. Well, I'm sorry, Lisa, I'm not sure what to say, but there was plenty of warnings as far as advanced polls, mail-ins. Even today, there was lots and lots of notice from the very beginning, from the first time when we came out here for the nomination meeting. So there was plenty of time to get that in. I'm not sure what I can say other than that. Mike Bowen, how you doing? Good luck to all. I think more or less it's about the effort. If you would have just tried to get it in on time, it would have made it in on time. But to try to get it in after 8 o'clock on the day of election, when all the ballots, then all the polling stations are done. When all the polling stations are done, not the ballots. The ballots we're about to start on. Yeah, that's not going to be good. That's not going to happen. Oh, I literally just got my voting package today. Well, I'm surprised by that. I'm not sure why that happened. But I mean, once again, I had nothing to do with that end, right? For me, all I really am is the tech guy or the streaming production guy. That's what I do. That's my end. Everything else is not my end. But I gotta go see these guys because they're gonna start making changes here, and I can't accept those. I need them to set up for me so I can set up for the stream. I'll be right back.
Should be in that bin. Here we go. Just take markers. I think we got it all done. These are dirty. Sherry, I got this box of unused ballots here.
I'm doing a little bit of work here. So right now they're going to do the mail-in ballots. That's what they're into right now. I'm running out of breath. I was putting away some equipment and stuff for these guys, helping them out. Apology for the deep breaths, but that's just the way it feels right now. Exhausted. There we go. Kind of get you guys into that groove. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go over there. I gotta help them. I will keep coming back here, and at some point when they get into the actual ballot counts, then I'll be managing the camera back and forth and showing you guys everything that's going on. I'll be right back. Oh, and I'll keep updating you guys as to what's happening at every moment. Right now, they're processing the mail-in ballots. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna move this back a little bit because the other ballots are on the floor right now. So we'll leave those right there, where you guys can see the ballots behind them. I'll be right back.
Ballot? Okay. Wait, when you're ready. Look loud. Okay, John McCabe. Hi. John McCabe. That's right there. John right there. John right. Right there. Okay, you know what? It is that. Michelle, Cheryl. That's all. We got it. Oh, my God, good. You can ask. See ya. I remember that one. Good. Cecilia, you can ask. What does she go by? Is it Ethan or no? It's Cecilia. Maybe that's her name. Vancouver. What's her name? She goes like this. Let's just look at out there on the tree. I got my last one. No, she has a different birth name. Cecilia. Look it up later. Who's Dale? We'll see who's Dale. Who's Dale? Yeah. Elchie. Francis Elchie. Monroe. Gary. Yep. Sure that I didn't calculate. That was the box of it. Back in the day, 38 boxes. Gary. How was this, Naomi? I heard that. Yeah, Naomi. Okay, fine. Beach, Caroline Beach. Hot dog beach, Boulder. Alan, Lucy. You have a question there, Ellen. Yeah, we want to ask the way I know. She requested the first Right. Yeah, she got to me like well, 2 weeks at it. Yeah, I got it in. That was awesome. Yeah, she sent it. She signed it. Why wouldn't it? She was living and she signed it. Oh. That's so cool. I'll look at it right now. Okay, I'm in the cake. Red, I'm in the cake. These are ready? These are ready. Your turn. Wally, your turn. Wally, your turn. Good? Nice. Happy to see you. You guys do your thing. These are all fun. Oh, thank you. Good turn. Karen. Karen, your turn. Karen, your turn. Who's your color then? I didn't hear it. Daniel, Garrett, Stanton, or the rest of these teachers, give it. Val, Turner, you know that, right? Take them out. Both of them. Both of them. Take it out of that envelope? Okay, take them out of both. Slow down here. Garrett Campbell, Garrett Campbell. Campbell, good. You got both ballots over there? Good. Good. I'll take that. Okay, you might. Are they both up? Okay, here we go. Draw wrong. Get up there. 7:18 recording examiner. Joseph, you can act. Well, 7:14 are you discussing? No? 7:14, what other Joseph? You Joseph right there. Take that a sec. 7:14. That's third one. It's Joseph. Edward Newton. Edward Newton. Good. William Sharkrat. This guy's born, it says 2737 Savannah. William Sharkrat. William. Keep going. Geraldine Duchard. Oh, and we have Garnet's shorthand. I forgot to mention, all the ones we received, we have 40, 50 plus time declaration not used. So they add that on to the count. That's declaration. So a lot of people just did declarations, even though this is out too. So there's a substantial amount. Yeah, that's what happened all with that. So, yeah, so it goes 70%. Okay, short-term, hyphen, blue-term. So, short-term, on the end of the short-term. Short-term, blue-term. Okay, let's try U-turn. Should we U-turn? 20 feet.
All right, guys, I'm here. There's just no volume over there. I wasn't sure. Like, I went over there to help out, but I had no idea what I was trying to do. So they had me going in there to do the mail-in ballots, help process them. So that part has been done. They're currently opening up all the ballots that came in through the mail. So first we had to make sure that we opened up everything and confirm that everything was filled out properly. Then they open up the envelope with the ballots inside, which is what they're doing now. And you can see that there's two guys sitting at the end of the table here with a hat. The gentleman in a black shirt, the one in whitish or maybe pink shirt, sitting by the boxes. So you can see right now, see, he's about to put that ballot in there. Boom. So those ballots that are going in there, those are all the mail-in ballots that we just processed. So once they get processed, they go into the box with all the other ballots, and then they just get counted all together. Right, and so what I can tell you right now, so far from the update, from what I've seen from when I was there, is that the guesstimated I had for the mail-in ballots was at just 30, and it's actually more around 88. So that's an extra 50 on my count, which will make it 1,000. Wait, I gotta figure it out. So that's 1,091, just under 1,100. And I'm kind of more or less just waiting to see what these guys are doing here for the setup for their table. And I think they're gonna do 2 tables at the same time, so I won't be able to mic both tables. I shouldn't even mic one, because if I mic one, I'll pick up the sound from the second one. But if they end up going on one table, at that point I'll mic it. If not, then I'm not sure what I can do. I mean, I wonder if I can do that. Thinking out loud here. Trying to find a way where I can maybe mic myself up to get in there, because I'm going to be helping to unfold the ballots to make sure they're ready to go when they have to call out the names. But then that's all I think I'm really doing, is just helping that part. Then I'm done on that table. So technically I'm going to be back here on the stream anyway. Check out some of your guys' comments real quick. How you doing, Jennifer? Connie May, welcome to the stream. Michelle Thompson, where's the volume? There was no volume because I'm way over here. I'll kind of give you an idea roughly where I'm at. So where this goes all the way back, I'm actually about 6 feet further back. So I'm about that far plus 6 feet further from them. So that's the big reason why you can't really hear too much. But nothing's being called out right now. There's no names being called out here. What's happened? Well, maybe there is, but the names that are being called out are just and the names are being called out are the names on the ballots that are mailed in, and it's a cross-check reference to make sure that they didn't come in to vote in person today or at advanced polls. So that's why they're saying out some names right now, but that's not part of the ballot count yet. We haven't started the counts yet. Right now, they're just going through the processing. David Morning Sky says can't hear them. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to hear them. Apologies for that. Emma Welburn, welcome to the stream. Flora McKay, can you please turn up the volume? Sorry guys, there's nothing that you guys can really hear there, and even if you are hearing, like, you wouldn't understand what's going on anyway, because you're thinking, oh, that person got called out, that person got called out, and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, they weren't even running. That's because these are just members who voted that are being called out right now, not any candidates. There's no ballot count at the moment yet. As a viewer, we can't hear them, says Catherine McKay, and I just explained that, so I won't explain again. Chrissy Thompson, can't hear. Once again, I'll explain that. It's because there was no mic around there. I hope to fix the volume soon. The volume, there's no problem with the volume. I'm just really far away. And David Morningsky saying, stay off your cell phone. Not sure who was on the cell phone, but it wasn't me. It's not the volume. I need to put a mic closer to the count. And there you go. How you doing, Robert Snowbird? That is correct. Taylor says, wow. Val Gabish says, wow. That's it. A couple of wows. I'm not sure what exactly you wanted me to say other than the truth, but that is the truth. We're still not at the ballot count yet. We're just processing the mail-in ballots. It is picking up the background noise of the fans for some reason. Mags McKay says, thank you, Rod, for the live feed. And Brandon, so glad to be able to participate from afar. You're very welcome, Mags. Alex Chartron, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, with this service, everybody from your community, no matter where they are, as long as they're a member of this group, they will be able to tune in and watch the ballot counts live. And just so you guys know, well, hang on a second. So on the bottom left of your screen, you guys can see right now, it says Pine Creek First Nation 2021 Chief and Council Elections live. When this one comes up, which is ballot counting is in progress, that is when the ballot counts actually begin. So just so you guys know, it hasn't begun yet. Chrissy O'Quinn, hello. How you doing, Chrissy? Welcome to the stream. I'm Rod Arriagada, your host, stream production guy, if you will. Time is 8:36. We basically started about 10 minutes after 8, so it's about 25 minutes roughly into this right now. There may or may not be a smoke break if there's smokers before they start to count. I don't think it will happen like that, but there might be. So just in case if there's a quick break or something, that's what's happening, is they're allowing everybody to go for a smoke before they get deep into the count. And sometimes, every now and then, they'll take a break in between the counts too. If it's, there's a large number of ballots and, it's people are showing signs of being exhausted, they'll take a quick reset and let everybody have a quick 5-minute smoke break and come back in. But if that happens, I'll let you guys know, all right? My job basically here right now is to kind of keep you guys updated with everything that's going on, so that way you're not wondering what's going on, like what happened to the volume. What I can maybe do, but it's going to be so confusing for you guys because there's going to be 2 team leaders calling out names. But what I can maybe do is try to get a mic in between both tables and then pick up the sound from both tables. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be confusing. If you're thinking in your mind that you're going to hear the names, you're going to get a piece of paper, you're going to start writing down all the names and all the numbers that are coming out, you're going to have a hard time keeping track when 2 people are calling out names, different names at the same time. And I'd rather not put you guys through that. But if I have to, then I will. How you doing, Randy Moosdale? Rod Arriagada. Hi, Rod. Are you going to show the papers on the wall? Yeah, I will. We'll explain the process a little bit further as we get closer to it. Are you going to try bring the microphone closer? Wants to know Catherine McKay. Well, you're not missing out on much right now, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that right now. And I see you got a like on that comment, so somebody else is itching to hear what's going on. The answer is no, not right now. And I was just explaining that I may or may not put a mic in between, because if I put a mic in between, you guys are just going to get confused about everything that's going on. And then more questions are going to come, people are going to get frustrated, and there's going to be no clarity. So don't know if I want to really go that path with you guys tonight and create some confusion or misunderstanding. But I'll kind of explain it to you sort of so you understand the way it's sort of working. From what I understand, it's going to be 2 tables set up. There's going to be 2 leaders at the table. There'll be 2 people writing down every name that gets called out. And then there'll be 1 person unfolding the ballots and keeping them flat out, so that way the electoral officer can just go through there and call the names faster. So each table is going to have a tally of numbers for all the candidates throughout all the ballots that they counted, right? So when we go up to the board, well, I kind of don't want to go up to the board right now, but the boxes are safe. Nobody's touching the boxes right now because these guys are all engaged in what they're doing. So let's go over here. All right. So the way it's going to work on the board, let's say for the chief, counts, for example, there'll be one set of numbers. Let's go with the top. Charlie Boucher. So he'll have one set of numbers, everybody else will have one set of numbers, and then table 2 is going to come in after they finish their count, and they're going to add their numbers that they had. So then when you look at the names on the board, you're going to see 2 sets of numbers. Those 2 sets of numbers are going to be added up. When those numbers are added up, that's going to give you a total for each candidate through all the ballots. Then you're going to find out exactly who came through. Something like that. Just kind of explain it to you guys so you guys get the gist of what's going to happen. So it's not too confusing and you're not wondering how, why, all that stuff, right? Let's predict who's going to win, says Joyston. You guys go first, he says. Well, that's smart. That's a little smart tactic there. Well, I don't have an opinion because I have no idea who's going to win today. I know that there was a lot of candidates that had some really, really good platform speeches for the candidates forum, and based on that I had some sort of ideas of maybe who might be elected, but I have no say in that really because I don't really know everybody. So when it comes down to a community like you guys know each other a little bit better, so you probably have a better idea who's going to come through than I do. I can only go based on, I guess we'll call it performance, right? So when they come out and they have the candidates forum, the way they present themselves, how they think, how they respond to the questions, their platform itself, all those things kind of grind together and let me have an idea of how wise this candidate is and what the chances are of that candidate coming through in the election. But I'm not a predictor, so I can't really tell you, but I have an idea anyways. I have an idea of a few people that I think will probably end up getting nominated, but it's not my job to persuade you or get elected. It's not my job to persuade anyone into thinking anything. So you guys come up with your own conclusion. I'll be here reading the comments and trying to see what you guys got. But on the real, who do you guys think is going to win? Let's start off with, I don't know, let's go with Chief. So who's going to win Chief? Or wait, let's do intense. We can't start that intense, right? Let's go with council. Who do you guys think are going to be elected for council? There's 3, right? So who do you guys think? Let's go with that one. Okay, for Chief, equal, blah. And for councilors, blah, and blah, and blah, and blah. Last is blah. Oh, jeez. Well, that's probably what I would have said. Actually, I think I kind of said it that way, just not so many blahs. Linda Gall says Cindy and Dawn for sure. Cindy and Dawn for sure. There's an opinion. And I mean, you guys don't have to necessarily put the names of the people that you guys voted for or anything either. It's just going to be a guess, right? So, because I mean, sometimes maybe one of you guys voted for that person, so you think that person's going to win, but in reality, you actually think this other person's going to win. So, you know, just go with whatever you think. We're not going to hold you to your comment, all right? Nobody should be held accountable for their comment because their comment does not necessarily mean they voted for that person. It's just merely an opinion. You guys can help me out here and try to get some more of your members to join the stream. Maybe you guys can give me a like and a share. Just a share would be good, to be honest, but a like helps too. For those of you that are wondering who I am, I know some of you have been listening to me all day and you probably already memorized my name, but there's my name on the right hand side bottom of your screen, Rod Arriagada. You can find me on Facebook if you guys want to add me or follow me. And if you guys want to get a hold of us, then you can message us as Turtle Nation Holdings. You can message us at turtlenationholdings@gmail.com. If you want to check out some of the work that we've done, including the footage from today, you can find us on YouTube, Turtle Nation Holdings. That's our channel. Check us out on there. In a day or two, I will be uploading this stream, the Ballot counts, on YouTube for those members that do not have social media. Because you don't really need an account when you go into YouTube. You can go in there as a guest and see everything, right? I don't think you can go in to see anything that's like not for kids. So something that's 18 plus, for example. I think for that you have to have an account. But it's not too hard to make an account. Lynn Legal says Charlie for Chief. And nobody else taking a guess. You're all nervous, ain't ya? Man, I just killed a mosquito and that thing was like covered in blood because it ate my hand for like 10 minutes. I just fed a mosquito for 10 minutes. I had no idea either until I killed it. Alrighty, so, well, there's a gentleman in the black hat sitting right there in the front. He kind of blocks the way if I zoom in, so I can't really zoom in and show you guys where they're at with the ballots right now, but they're getting pretty close. It was less than 100 ballots, and it looks like they're getting to the end of the stack almost. Catherine McKay says, I'll go first. Derek Nipanak for Chief. Councilors Randy Moostill, Angela McKay, and Cindy McKay. There should be like a prize or something for whoever guesses right. Right? Something like that. Sherry Wilkins says, I don't know anyone personally. Newer member of Pine Creek. 60 scoop survivor. My biological mom is a member. I still live in the States. Well, I'm glad you're able to tune in and watch all this from over there, Sherry. That's the beauty of social media, right? Is that you don't necessarily have to even be in the same country to be able to watch what's going on. That's what I'm saying. The times have to change. You have to progress with the future, and the future is digital, including social media streaming. And honestly, I don't think it could ever go back from this point forth because there's so many people that have become experts in the streaming business in their own ways, in their own markets. And I think that there's been so many apps and tools and equipment that's been developed for that purpose that there's just no way it could ever go back. It's always going to go forward. And who knows what's going to be next when it comes to the way people communicate with each other. Sherry Wilkins says, I am grateful to be able to watch. Well, I'm grateful you're in here joining us right now. And I'm grateful for all you guys that have tuned in and joined in so far as well, because you guys are building up the excitement. I just had to kill a mosquito. That's what that sound was. They're just coming after me now. It's like one of them got a taste of blood, and now they're all like, hey, there's a buffet in there. I swear to God, they're all around me right now. Might make me knock down my computer if they keep it up. Currently in Tennessee. Nice. Never had an opportunity to go to Tennessee. Always wanted to. They talk great things about that place. I am familiar with the states. I got family in Texas and Alabama, near Seattle, Phoenix, Albuquerque. Got them all over this place, all over in the states. But I never had a chance to go to Tennessee. And Vegas is another place that I'd like to go check at least once. I was just waiting, for me to come across like $20,000 so I can at least enjoy myself for one night there. It's so expensive. From everybody in the world that's ever gone to Vegas that I know of, and I know a lot of them because of the pool industry, they all say it's very expensive. The only thing that's cheap is drinking, because they just bring your drinks around as long as you're gambling, they said. Mosquitoes win. Yeah, they definitely won. That one, if I didn't kill it, was going to go feed an army with my blood. Mary Campbell says, good luck, everyone. Shirley Thompson, will you be providing vote result updates for viewers? Yes, I will be. Yes, I will be. Once they start doing the counts, I'm not gonna do like update vote for vote, and I can't do that because that's just crazy right now. But I will update you guys on the board. I have everything set up right now, so we can zoom in on the board and you guys can see everything. Are you gonna mention the number count? What do you mean by that? The number count? Sherry says, I was in Los Angeles or LA for 5 to 5 months. Or I was in LA 4 to 5 months ago. My bad. I'm misreading your comment there. LA is another place that I haven't had a chance to go check out, but it's kind of crazy in LA, so I'll wait. I'll wait till it's not as crazy. Alexis Klein says, as a youth voter, I can't wait till it's my turn to run in this election. Right on. And that's the mentality you got to have. And that's what I'm saying. Like, getting the youth involved by coming out and being a part of the process opens their eyes to a different world for them to understand that life can be about more. And for instance, in this situation, life can be about being a leader in your community and making a difference and an impact in your community. Right? So it's so important to have the youth involved, because for the people, now I don't want to say the old people, but the people that are like adults moving into the elderly or the elderly, they're all kind of sort of stuck in the same timeline because that's what they grew up with. And while the younger generation, they're all up to date with everything that's going on through social media, the platforms that are available, what's going on and current in the world with the news and all that stuff. So when they come into power, they have a different perspective of the future because they're currently in the present. While somebody that's a little bit older, they may have a great vision for the future, but they might be stuck in the past still, right? So it's some of those, it's kind of like a halfway point, I don't know. It's hard to pick a leader. I'm just going to say that right now. It's hard to pick a leader. You basically have to pick a leader based on their experience, their rapport, so what their reputation is, right? How well they carry themselves, those kind of things, their people skills, leadership skills, their confidence, right? There's a lot of different things you got to look at. And then there's, different things, right? So some people are like extremely gifted at some things, like finance, for example. Other people are extremely gifted at business, right? So they can create lots of business. There's other people that are extremely great at, humanitarian stuff, right? So they'll help build a community in a different way, trying to help everyone at the same time. And there's all sorts of stuff like that. So it's really hard to choose who it is that you're going to vote for. And even sometimes when you vote and the person doesn't come through, you might even feel a little bit bitter about the fact that, the person you voted for didn't come in. Or even the person that got voted for, maybe, they kind of came across the wrong way on you, and now you don't feel as good about them being your leader. The first step of moving forward in a positive direction, I'll tell you guys right now, is that you may have your opinion prior to election, prior to voting, but once you've voted and the process is complete, whoever comes through should get 100% support from everyone. Whether you've supported them through votes or not, it makes no difference, because the only way that a community can move forward is if they work together as a whole. And in order to work together as a whole, you must accept those that are in a position of leadership who are guiding you through the future. So it's always important to have the youth involved. Going back to that, Alexis, I wish you luck. And the bulldog says, Linda, Ye to the mosquitoes. Shirley says, awesome, thanks. You're very welcome. Yeah, names on the wall. How do we know? Yeah, so I'll show you guys that. And we're just waiting for them to finish what they're doing right now, and then they're going to start the ballot count process, right? So right now they're just doing the mail-in process. Then they're going to go into the actual ballot counts. They're going to set up their tables, and I'm hoping they're going to get a little bit closer, because I don't have a 100-foot cord for Mike. I only got 50-foot cord for Mike. So if I can somehow get in there to mic up, that's the furthest distance I can go. I can go with a wireless connection, but with a wireless connection, there's going to be a lot of background noise. It's going to create a lot of problems for everyone that's trying to listen in. So I'm going to try to stay away from that. Leanne Thompson, are they counting now? No, they are not. And it looks like they're almost getting ready to count, though. But they're supposed to reset the tables before they start, so they haven't quite started yet. And like I said, I'm going to show you guys that banner again. If you guys are looking at the bottom left side of the screen, right now it's showing Pine Creek First Nation 2021 Chief and Council elections. When it shows this one right here, ballot counting is in progress, that's when the count has begun. So as of right now, it hasn't begun yet. But I think we're pretty close. If I was a guessing man, I would say that we're probably within 5 to 10 minutes of beginning the counts. And that's without me seeing the ballots from this far. I have no idea how many are left, but I'm just saying because given the time that we've already spent on processing them, and there was around close to 100, we're pretty close to being done. The mail-in ballot process takes a little bit longer because you got to open up the envelopes. You got to confirm that everything was filled out properly. Then once you do that, you got to give the envelopes with the ballots to the electoral officer. Then he opens them up and starts going through the names. So it's a bit of a process. It takes the longest. If this was, for example, a ballot count, if we already started a ballot count, they were likely already been through at least one box at this time. And there's, I believe, 4 boxes altogether to go through. So we're looking at about a 3-hour stretch, up to 4 hours, depending if there's any breaks in between or not, and depending on how good the teams work together, and if there's any recounts or not. All that stuff is part of the play into what happens moving forward. I will tell you guys right now that when you guys tuned in earlier for the first segment or for the first part, we were having an issue with the internet, and there was a good possibility that we were going to get cut off no matter what at midnight. And so we were all worried about it. Me specifically, I was extremely worried about it because, I didn't want to have you guys watch all day long through the polling stations, then come in and watch all evening and most of the night long watching the ballot counts. And then when you get to the part where you're supposed to find out who won, suddenly you guys can't see the screen no more. And I didn't want that to happen. So I'm really glad that that Frontier School Division looked after getting the internet set up for us properly. And so as far as I know, we shouldn't have any restrictions tonight. So God forbid that we're here till 6 in the morning, but if we did, we should still have internet. And I hope I didn't curse everybody to be here till 6 in the morning. I'm gonna knock on wood. I just did on the ground. Hopefully that's real wood. The guesstimate time is, well, I didn't even tell these guys that, the internet's going to be good for all night. So in their minds, we only have till 12. So that's probably going to help the process go a little bit faster. But I will tell them right away that we do have the Wi-Fi, so they're not too worried about it. But the guesstimates for them will probably be midnight. For me, I'm going to say 1. I always say 1 because, I don't know, 1 seems like the right time when things should be almost done, right? Sometimes we'll go to 2 or even 3, depending on the amount of votes that come in. You guys are looking at close to 1,100 votes so far, or not, I shouldn't even say so far because that's the total amount. But don't quote me exactly on 1,100 because it was just slightly less than 1,100, and there was a couple people that came in last minute, and then there was a couple extra mail-in ballots in there because I only had a 30 count, and then we ended up having 88. So it's going to be some different numbers coming out. So we're getting ready. Oh no, it looks like they're still going through them. Well, I'm going to step away for a second and get a quick drink of water while these guys are still doing this. And I'm going to take a little peek to see how many ballots are roughly left on that stack so we can have an idea when the counts are going to begin. I'll be right back.
leaving time not off. Well, again, it's in there today, like, it's kind of, it's not only the student, it's trying to involve. I have seconds. The monkey smart. You guys are going to get your data too, right? Yeah. I'll take a data later. Okay, so we're going to go here. Tables per pound. Did you guys forget? No, I haven't. 2 tables over here and 2 over there because they want to be away from one another because we're going to be yelling, remember? Well, we've only done it recently 3 times. What did you guys do? Well, I'll let you guys figure it out. We've only done this 3 times here.
That's my water. Come get it. Before, can you move that? Alright, sorry for all that camera work, guys. I was just getting my angles all set. So we got the main view here for you guys. This is the 2 table setup. I don't know, like, they're gonna be yelling out pretty loud, so I can mic up maybe 1 table, but not both tables. I just can't do it. And even then, micing up 1 table might be in the way for these guys, so I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to do it. What I'll do maybe is go outside, grab a tripod, grab my second microphone and connect it, and hopefully it'll be loud enough for you guys. That's the best I can do. You guys will see a tripod with a microphone in the middle trying to pick up sound. Alright, I'm going to go do that right now. So right now we're almost set up. They're about to come in and start doing the counts. There's 2 tables, so table 1 will be on the left hand side. Change that angle right there. Table 1, table 2 is on the right hand side, and I kept it with the ballot boxes in the middle, so that way no matter what angle I go with, the boxes will always be in view. Alright guys, trying to be as transparent as possible. I'll be right back.
Do the chief because you're getting something right at the top, right? So you go in, grab the chief one. Okay, now where's our counters in here? Reg? No, how long do you do this? So these guys are designated counters, so you can be able to get them. You're gonna need a third. You're gonna need a third. And you're gonna need here with the check. So you grab a chair over there. And I'll explain how it works. No, you're not going to touch anything. Doris, I need you here. You said to put these tables. So I want to get started. I'll explain it later. Let's just go. I'll do the trial when I can get it, and then we'll be live. So what we're going to do is that you'll watch. Okay. Where's our rippers? Right here. I got it. Let's mix them together. What do we got here? These are the in-person. So this one will go in with the other ones from the 12 and that's both mix them together. Because everything's going to be mixed, right? Yeah. Okay, Okay, scrutineers, observers, nothing in here? Right? Nothing in here? We don't like magic. And I'll mix in this bowl with that, so we can't distinguish anything. This is from okay. Make sure this box is good. Careful with this. It's like a 90. This is one here. This is some of the. Okay, there's nothing in this envelope. Okay, guys. Okay, who we got here? Brandon? Brandon? You go here. You'll need 3 each. Or we get 3, I guess. Who's this? We'll mix it together. First, put that on here. Please. That's it. Okay. Okay. Carry 3 years. Firstly, you're going to come over here. Right? Carry what thing you want. Doesn't matter. I'm going to take that over there. And you know what to do with these, right? Have to start this guy off. Let me start this guy off first. There's no talking. Put your phones away. Everybody has to listen.
Rotate the gym floor, lift that chair.
Do I need a paper, Mika?
All right, guys. So I got a mic in there. You guys can see the mic in the screen. They changed everything on me. Like, I don't know why they took all the ballots out, the boxes. So I'm gonna have to go in this main view like this. We'll have to keep it like this for now. You guys will see both tables going on at the same time, and you will only hear one table, and that table's gonna have to be the one on the right. Pretty sure that's the way it's gonna work. And so I'm gonna have to go over there, and I'm gonna have to go help do some ballot stuff in order to be able to do this a little bit at a better pace. Running out of breath, man. Running all day. It's humid and hot out, and makes it a little bit tougher physically. All right, so the sound that you guys are picking up in the background right now, that's the fans, and you're likely going to pick up the sound of the fans throughout the stream. Not much I can do about it though, so you have to just bear with me on it. As soon as they're ready to start the ballot counts, I will switch the banner and I will turn up the volume on that second mic. All right, guys? Just move the mic when they switch. I can't because I'll be getting in the way. So like that I was saying earlier, it's too complicated to get it set up for 2 tables. So I'm just gonna have to do it because there's gonna be crossover, like screaming and yelling in both tables, right? So that'll be a little bit more complicated. And I'm gonna go help out both tables unfolding the ballots, right? So we can go through it a little bit faster. And I'm gonna switch over the mic right now, so you're not gonna hear me no more. It was a pleasure so far. I'll be back in a little bit later though, once we're done almost halfway through the process. At that point, I'm gonna come over here and I'll catch up with you guys. Or maybe even if I'm sort of in the way out there, I'll just move out of the way real quick. But either way, I'll be back, guys. And well, I'll be here right now because I'm switching over the mics, and I want to make sure that the sound is good. And then from there, I'm gonna move over there and help with the ballots. So enjoy, guys. This is what you've been waiting for.
All doing one sheet concert. It'll be fast.
Right.
You got her?
Okay.
Okay, listen up, guys. You got a pen? Reg? We need a pen here.
Thank you for the pen.
Make sure it works. So we're clear on what a block of 5 is, right? Okay. And that's what you can fit in that 1 square. That's 60 across. Okay? Okay, let's get, well, if not, well, let's get going. Here we go, guys. Ready? For chief, no vote. Look at that. It's blank, guys. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Councillor, Cindy. Is that yours, Reg?
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin McKay.
I got it.
Ricky Napiew.
Got it.
Here we go. Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, 1 vote. Harley Chartrand. Who's got Harley?
I got it.
Right on. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Joseph Boucher. Chung.
I got it.
Charlene Flatfoot gets 1. Who's got Charlene?
I got it.
Arthur Mackay. Arthur
I
McKay.
got it.
For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joseph Bushy. Chung.
Yep.
Cheryl Bushy. That's the next
Cheryl.
one, Reg, yeah. And then Brent Pronto on the 3rd sheet. Here we go. See, it's easy. For Chief Lloyd Chartrand. And we'll be done twice as fast. Council, there's only 1 vote. Johnny Napiew, that's it. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun, Joseph Boucher. Joe Flett. Johnny Napiew.
Got it.
Brent Pronto.
Isn't that 5?
No, it's 4.
Oh, okay.
It's 4, too. Charlie Bushy for chief. Don't worry, we're looking, but good idea. And there's 4 votes for council. Harley Chartrand.
Yep.
Charlene Flyfoot.
Yep.
Joe Flett.
Got it.
Johnny Napiew. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay.
Yep.
Don Chartrand.
Yep.
Jennifer Chartrand. Mooshtail.
Yep.
Corey Neepanak. 2nd page, right? For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. That's Joseph Bushy.
Yep.
First guy on the ballot. Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett.
Got it.
Ricky Napiew. Make sure you scan them, boys. You guys know what to do, eh? 4 or less. Derek Neepanak gets a vote for chief. Council, there's 2 votes only. Cindy Campbell McKay
Yep.
and Arthur McKay. That's it.
I got it.
For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand.
All right.
Jennifer Chartrand. Got Jennifer, guys?
Yes, I got it.
Ricky Napiew.
Got it.
For chief, we got Derek Neepanak. Council, Don Chartrand, listen up. Don gets 1. John Chartrand gets 1. Jon, John.
Oh, Don.
Come on. Jennifer Chartrand gets 1. And Randy Moosetail. Randy gets 1. You got it?
Yeah.
Next ballot is Charlie Bushy for chief. Council, Joe Flett.
Got it.
Johnny Napiew.
Got it.
For chief, Bert McKay. Council, Charlene Flatfoot.
Okay.
Corey Neepanak and June Neepanak. Corey and June.
Got it.
Next ballot is Derek Neepanak for chief. Council, Cindy Campbell. Okay.
Yep.
Jennifer Chartrand. Arthur McKay.
Got it.
Lauren Thompson. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand. Ricky Naphew. Lauren Thompson. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Joe Flett. Kevin McKay. Georgie Moosetail. Georgie.
Got it.
For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, listen up, Charlene Flatfoot.
Okay.
Joe Flett.
Got it.
Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joseph Bushy.
Yep.
Harley Chartrand.
Oh, yeah.
Harley.
That's me.
Joe Flett.
Got it.
And Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Cindy Campbell.
Chief.
For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Sorry. For Council, Cindy Campbell. Don Chartrand. Charlie Flatfoot. Joe Flett. That's it. Sorry about that. Is that a strike through, Reg, or no?
This one is?
No, up, further up.
This
That one.
Which one?
The one you just touched. Is that a strike? Is that 5?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, ready? For Chief, Charlie Bushy. And here are the 4 councilors. Joe Flett. June Nepanak. Johnny Naphew. Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett.
Got it.
June Nepanak. Johnny Naphew. Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Don Chartrand. Harley Chartrand. Kevin McKay. Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun, Joseph Boucher. John Chartrand.
Don or John?
John Chartrand. Sorry, I'll make that more clear. Randy Moosetail. You got Randy? Brent Pronto.
That's 5.
Miss, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you said.
No, we didn't say Don. He asked me. I said John. He said, "Did you say
Yes,
Don?"
and
I
you
said
said
John.
Randy and Brent and.
Randy, Brent, and Chun. Next ballot. Charlie Bushy for Chief. Councilor Joseph Bushy or Chun. And then,
Just say Chun.
okay, I'll just say Chun. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. John Chartrand. Jon.
Okay.
Jennifer Chartrand. And the 4th one is Brent Pronto. Next ballot for Chief, Derek Nepanak. Councilor Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett. Angela McKay. Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell. Okay, next ballot. Derek Nepanak for Chief. Councilor, June Nepanak. For Chief, Bert McKay. Councilor votes are going to go, there's 2. Arthur McKay, Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Don Chartrand. And the other 2 are Johnny Naphew and Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council is going to go Cindy Campbell McKay. Arthur McKay, that's it. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Harley Chartrand.
Take that paper.
Joe Flett. Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Okay, Council, John Chartrand. Reg?
Yeah.
Come on, Reg.
I'm still over here on Chun. I'm waiting.
No. Jennifer Chartrand. Kevin McKay. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. And Councilor is going to go Cindy Campbell McKay. And there's 2 other votes here. Corey Nepanak and June Nepanak. That's it. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council is going to go Cindy Campbell McKay. Joe Flett. Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Jennifer Chartrand. Angela McKay. Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. And Chun gets one. Look at that for Councilor. Joel Flett. Johnny Napu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun gets one. Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, and the last one is Johnny Napu. Come on, guys. Did you want to help him? Okay, and you got Joe?
Even I'm helping him.
Okay, Johnny. Next ballot. Next ballot. Here we go.
Now?
Okay, I'm just going over it again, you guys. You got to focus here, otherwise we're going to screw it all up. Next ballot. Charlie Bushy for Chief. Chun gets one for Councilor. Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett. Johnny Napu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. Johnny Napu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Johnny Napu. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Dawn Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Angela McKay. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand. Dawn, D-O-N.
John.
Are we okay, guys? Are we okay?
I heard John.
I said Dawn.
Yeah.
Jennifer Chartrand. I'll take my mask off. Joe Flett. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Charlene Flatfoot. Angela McKay. Corey Nepanak. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Angela McKay. For Chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Dawn Chartrand. Then John Chartrand. Kevin McKee, Georgie Moosetail. Kevin and Georgie. You got him? Yeah. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot. Arthur McKay. Randy Moosetail. Brent Peranto. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, June Nepanak. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, 2 votes. Angela McKay. Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, 1 vote. Johnny Napu. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. And we got 4 here for Council. Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Angela McKay. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot. Corey Nepanak. June Nepanak. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Joe Flett. Corey Nepanak. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand. And then over here we got Kevin McKay and Angela McKay. You got Kevin and Angela? Next ballot is Charlie Bushy for Chief. Council votes Harley Chartrand. This is a no vote. This guy withdrew. Fred Lita withdrew after, so any votes he gets in his favor are not counted. So 1 came up, but it doesn't get, it's 0, right? That's why it's on the sheet as 0. Everett McKay gets a vote. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, here we go. Chun gets one, and Cheryl, next right under him. Cheryl Boucher. And then Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cheryl Bushy, Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Cheryl Bushy, that's it. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Cheryl Bushy, Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council votes Dawn Chartrand. Dawn. Kevin McKay, Johnny Napu, Ricky Napu. For Chief, Beverly Cody gets one. Look at that. And then council votes, we've got 3 here, Harley Shortran, Georgie Moosetail, and Randy. Those 2 get one. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Chun, number 1 on the list, Joe Flett, and Johnny Napiu. For chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Shara Boucher, Don Chartrand, Harley Chartrand, and John Chartrand.
That's-
That is. It's 4. You want to come here and sit here? You keep interrupting. It's 4.
I know, but I keep counting your
Well, you know
councillors
what?
every
You know what?
time.
You know what? That's the 3rd time now. I think you want to come closer because you're interrupting it. I'm doing it right, and you're leaving the suspicion that I'm not doing it right. If there's any more false interruptions, you're gonna have to leave. Are you ready? Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, for chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. Council, June Nepanak. For chief, Beverly Cody gets one. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Angela McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Brent Toronto. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cheryl Boucher, Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail. That's it. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand. And 3 down here, we got Johnny Napiu, Ricky Napiu, Lauren Thompson. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Joe Flett, Johnny Napiu, Brent Toronto. For chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. Council, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Ricky Napiu. For chief, Derek Nepanak. 2 votes for council, Corey Nepanak, June Nepanak. That's it. For chief, Derek gets one, Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Everett McKay, Kevin McKay. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail, Brent Toronto. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Joe Flett, Johnny Napiu, Brent Toronto. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Joe Flett, Randy Moosetail. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay. That's it. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand, John Chartrand. Fine. Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Kevin McKay, Johnny Napiu. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay. For chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, there's 2 votes. Harley Chartrand, for you, Reg, and Kevin McKay gets one. For chief, Charlie gets one. Bushy. For councilor, Chun, Arthur McKay. And the last 2 on the ballot is Brent Toronto, Lauren Thompson. For chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Ricky Napiu. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Johnny Napiu, Ricky Napiu. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, we got Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, and Johnny Napiu. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. That's it. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. You got him? Harley Chartrand gets a vote. Reg? And there's two more over here. Georgie Moosetail and Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Charlene Flatfoot. Arthur McKay. Angela McKay, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Or Chun? Chun. Harley Chartrand. Reg?
Yep.
Joe Flett and Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Don Chartrand, that's Don, D-O-N. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand. Charlene Flatfoot. And the fourth one is Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett. Randy Moosetail. Oh, yeah, Randy gets one. And Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Joe Flett. Johnny Napier. That's it. For Chief, Derek Deepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Arthur McKay. For Chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Charlene Flatfoot. Angela McKay. Corey Deepanak. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Don Chartrand. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, we got Donna Delaron Moosetail. Council, Harley gets one, Chartrand. Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. Brent Pronto. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Harley Chartrand. John Chartrand. Gavin McKay, Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joseph Bushy, Chun. Chun gets one. Cheryl Bushy gets one. Randy Moosetail and Brent Pronto. For Chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, here we go. Cindy Campbell McKay. Don Chartrand. John Chartrand. Kevin McKay. For Chief, Derek Deepanak. Council, 2 votes. Kevin McKay, Brent Pronto. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Jennifer Chartrand. Everett McKay. Who's got Everett? Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council are going to go Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. 4 votes. We got Chun, Cindy Campbell McKay, John Chartrand, that's J-O-N, and Lauren Thompson gets one on the end. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail, Brent Pronto. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Don Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, there's 3 votes. Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier, Brent Pronto. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Here's the 3 council votes. Harley Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, and Kevin McKay. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Don Chartrand, Joe Flett, and the 3rd one is going to go Corey Nepenak. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, 4 votes here. Charlene Flatfoot on the end there. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier, Brent Pronto. For Chief, Derek Deepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, and the third one is going to be Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Derek Deepanak. Councilor, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Arthur Mackay. Okay, right? For Chief, Derek Deepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot. June Neepanak. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Jennifer Chartrand. Kevin McKay. Angela McKay. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Dawn Chartrand, that's D-O-N. Charlene Flatfoot. Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail, Corey Neepanak. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. And we got three more here. June Neepanak, Johnny Napiu, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, June Neepanak. For Chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Shara Bushy, Cindy Campbell McKay, Corey Neepanak, June Neepanak. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand. Everett McKay gets one. Where's Everett?
Right here.
Look at that. Angela McKay. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Everett McKay, Kevin McKay. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Johnny Napiu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy, listen up. Chun, Cindy Campbell McKay, John, that's Jon, Chartrand, Joe Flett. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett, Johnny Napiu. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail, June Neepanak. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, that's D-O-N, Johnny Napiu, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Johnny Napiu, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Everett McKay, Angela McKay. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Georgie Moosetail, that's it. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Angela McKay, June Neepanak. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Ricky Napiu. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Joe Flett, Johnny Napiu. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, there's one vote, Harley Chartrand. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Georgie Moosetail, Johnny Napiu, that's it. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, we got Dawn Chartrand, that's D-O-N, Jennifer Chartrand. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Dawn is in D-O-N, Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand, Angela McKay. For Chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, one vote, Harley Chartrand. For Chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Dawn Chartrand, that's D-O-N. Charlene Flatfoot. Angela McKay, Corey Neepanak. For Chief, Bert McKay, and there's no vote for council. Our first spoiled councilor. So for councilor it's spoiled, but for chief it's good. Ready? Donna Delaron Moosetail for chief. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Jill Flett, Corey Neepanak. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Johnny Napier. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Councils, Harley Chartrand, Jill Flett, Georgie Moosetail, Ricky Napier. For chief, Bert McKay. Council, there's two, Johnny Napier and Ricky Napier. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Johnny Napier. For chief, Charlie Bushy, and there's one vote here for councilor, John Chartrand. John. For chief, Bert McKay. Council, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Brent Toronto. For chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Angela McKay. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun, Cheryl Bushy, Joe Flett, Brent Toronto. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Arthur McKay, Randy Moosetail. For chief, Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Joe Flett, June Neepanak, Johnny Napier, Ricky Napier. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Ricky Napier. For chief, Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, that's D-O-N, Charlene Flatfoot, Johnny Napier, Lauren Thompson. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Johnny Napier and Ricky Napier. That's it. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, and Corey Neepanak. For chief, Bert McKay. Council are going this way. For you, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn D-O-N Chartrand, John J-O-N Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand. Did you get Jennifer?
Yep.
For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand. This is a no vote because he withdrew. Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, D-O-N, Johnny Napier, Ricky Napier. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Johnny Napier. That's it, thank you. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Johnny Napier. For chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. For council, Randy Moosetail. For chief, Bert McKay. Council, what are those? No
Spoiled.
good?
Spoiled.
Leave them right here.
Okay, that's
So
it.
just observe and help out where we're needed. So I called out Bert, now we're gonna go to the council ones. Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Corey Neepanak, Johnny Napier. For chief, Derek Neepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail, June Neepanak. For chief, Charlie Bushy. Can you open this only with clean hands? And in council votes, Harley Chartrand, Johnny Napier. For chief, let's move these here. You got it? And Johnny, right? Okay, ready for Chief Donna Delaron Mooseville. Council Jennifer Chartrand, that's it. For Chief Charlie Bushy. Council Joe Chun gets one. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Joe Flett. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Joe Flett. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council is Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Joe Flett. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council is Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council 4 votes, Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, that's it. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, that's it. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, this is blank, no votes, guys, so it's spoiled for both. This is considered Chief and Council. I have to put him in here because I'll lose track.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay? Yeah, but there's no water in the girls. No, there's no water in there.
Oh, okay.
No, that was the middle day. We had that same debate. We had that same debate all day. And she goes,
Man,
"There's no bathroom."
woman, whatever.
Oh no, it's neither or. So you,
We don't know who
You're
we are.
discriminating.
Gender neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
oh, put this here. No, you have to. Are you ready? Charlie. Okay, are you ready now? For
Yeah.
Chief Charlie Bushy? You know how to do it, eh?
Yeah.
Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy. Sounds like it. Okay, wait, no talking, guys. Right? Chun gets a vote. Did you mark Chun? Yep. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Charlie Bushy. Council is Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier.
Hey, just letting you guys know, I forgot to put the ballot counting is in progress, but the ballot counts are definitely in progress. And I just went over there to help unfold all the ballots. And all ballots are now on the table, ready to be counted. They're counting through them already. So you guys are listening to Electoral Officer Burke Ratty, who's making the calls here on his table. He's a team leader on his table. And then Sherry Lynn is a leader on table number 2, which is the one on the left-hand side. Let's see, I'll put up. So the voice you guys are hearing right now on the mic, well, not right now, but you will be hearing on the mic, is Burke Ratty, Electoral Officer. And I'll leave that on there. And I'm going to turn down the volume on my mic right now and turn up his volume so that way you guys can hear the counts. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage so far. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Harley Chartrand. Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett, Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Harley Chartrand. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Joe Flett. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Georgie Mitchell. For Chief, Beverly Cody gets one. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Georgie Moostel. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Don McKay, Don Chartrand, sorry.
Okay,
I got, yeah. Oh. Joe Flett, Arthur McKay. She'll let me know if I make a mistake, because
No, you don't.
she's there for it.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, no. It's okay. It's all good. My apologies to everyone. Okay, for Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun. Cheryl Bushy. Joe Flett, Brent Pronto. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Randy Moosetail, Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, one vote, Randy Moosetail. Hang on. Don't get too excited there. Just kidding, Rich. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. That is it. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council is Don, D-O-N, Chartrand. Charlene Flatfoot. Corey Nepenak, June Nepenak. For Chief, Derek Kitswan, Nepenak. For Council, Don, D-O-N, Chartrand. For Chief, Charlie Bushy, Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Joe Flett. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Don Chartrand, D-O-N, Don. Arthur McKay, Angela McKay. Angela. For Chief, Donna Delaron, Moosetown. Jennifer Chartrand, that's it. For Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, June Nepenak. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Don D-O-N Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Georgie Moosetail, Brent Pronto. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Don Chartrand, D-O-N, Everett McKay, June Nepenak. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Don D-O-N, Chartrand, Everett McKay, Angela McKay. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napier, Brent Pronto. I'll show you. I apologize, by the way. Shouldn't do that. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council, Chun, Charlene Flatfoot, Joe Flett, Georgie Moostel. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Ricky Napier. For Chief, Charlie gets one. Bushy. Council, Jennifer Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Randy Moosetail, Corey Nepenak. For Chief, Derek Nepenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay. For Chief Bert McKay, Council. Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief Bert McKay, Council. Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief Bert McKay, Council. Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief Bert McKay, Council. Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief Derek Epanak, Council. Cheryl Bushy. Cheryl at the top. Cheryl. Harley Chartrand. Harley.
It's past his bedtime. He didn't have his nap.
John, J-O-N. You got John? J-O-N gets one? Chartrand. Brent Pronto. Now you can watch her.
Yeah. watch
Keep your
me.
eye on it. For Chief Bert McKay, 2 council votes. Charlene Flatfoot. Angela McKay, you can talk. Only I can talk. For Chief Charlie Bushy, council. Chune. You got Chune? John, J-O-N Chartrand. Joe Fleck, Johnny Napu. For Chief Derek Nepanak, council. Cindy Campbell McCabe, Dawn, D-O-N Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Charlene Flatfoot. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council. Cheryl Bushy. Second one from the top. Cheryl. For Chief Derek gets one. Council Dawn, D-O-N Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand. For Chief Charlie gets one. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
For Councilor Dawn, D-O-N Chartrand. Harley gets one. Next. Charlene Flatfoot. Ricky Nepu. For Chief Bert gets one. McKay. And here's the 3 votes in a row here. Harley Chartrand. John Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Randy Moosetail. Randy gets one. For Chief Charlie. Charlie gets one. And there's only 1 vote for Councilor Cheryl Boucher, second from the top. For Chief Bert McKay, Council Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand. Angela McKay, Johnny Napu, Brent Toronto. For Chief Charlie gets one. Council Chune, Cheryl, next to him. Johnny Napu, Brent Toronto. For Chief Bert McKay, Council D-O-N, John Chartrand, Harley Chartrand, John Chartrand, Angela McKay. Is it McKay or McKay? Or both? For Chief.
If you're mad at it.
For Chief Bert McKay, Council Don, D-O-N Chartrand, Ricky Napu. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council is Chune, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, and Johnny Napu. For Chief, here we go. Charlie Bushy, Council Don, D-O-N Chartrand, Joe Flett, Corey Nepanek, Johnny Napu. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chune, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Joe Flett. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Joseph Boucher. Chune, sorry. Joe Flett, Johnny Napu, no kidding. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chune, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. Joe Flett. Joe Flett. Okay. I know, I was watching. For Chief, Charlie gets one, Bushy. Council Cheryl, Bushy. Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand. Harley. Brent Toronto. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Council Chune. Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. For Chief, Derek Nepanek. Council Dawn Chartrand, Harley Chartrand. Kevin McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief, Derek Nepanek. Council Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Georgia Moosetail. For Chief, Derek Nepanek. Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, June Nepanek, Ricky Napu. For Chief Charlie, Council Harley. That's it. Harley, yeah, got it. For Chief Bert, okay. Cindy Campbell McKay for Councilor, Charlene Flatfoot near the end there. Angela McKay, Brent Toronto. For Chief Derek Nepanek, Council Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Chartrand. Brent Pronto. For Chief Charlie, Council, Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand. Harley, Joel Flett, Johnny Napier. For Chief Bert McKay, Council, Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay. Ricky Napier, Brent Peranto. For Chief Bert McKay, Council, Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand. Look at that, guys. And it's only just after 10. Mercy stayed at what, 4 or 5 in the morning? Hey, remember? All night?
You didn't
That's a
live
long
here
time
in
ago.
those days.
No, he was here watching.
It was a week.
Oh, yeah. And we all didn't have as much gray hair. I had gray hair. Okay, Derek Nepanak gets a vote. Cindy Campbell McKay for councillor. Arthur McKay. Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail. Chief is Derek Nepanak, council. Cindy Campbell McKay. Arthur McKay. Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief Bert McKay, council. Cindy Campbell McKay. Don Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand. Angela McKay. For Chief Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, D-O-N. Jennifer Chartrand. Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. For Chief, Derek gets one. Council votes Harley Chartrand and Georgie Moosetail. That's it. For Chief, Derek gets one. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Chartrand. That's it. For Chief Charlie, Council, Harley Chartrand. June Nepanak, Johnny Napier. For Chief Derek, Council, 3 in a row here on, well, sorry. Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand, Harley, and Jennifer. So Dawn, Harley, and Jennifer. For Chief Bert, okay. Council, Cindy Campbell, okay. Harley, Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, and Angela McKay. For Chief Bert McKay, Council is Kevin McKay, Corey Nepanak. For Chief is Derek, gets one, and Council are on the right side, Angela McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Corey Nepanak, June Nepanak. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Dawn, D-O-N, Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council.
Brent Toronto. Next ballot. Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot. For Chief, Donna Sonia Delaron Moosetail. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail. Next ballot. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Everett McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Ricky Joseph Napier. Next ballot. Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett. Next ballot. Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, June Nepanak. Next ballot. Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot. Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot. Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot. Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Corey Nepanak. Next ballot. Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Dawn Chartrand and Johnny Napier. Next ballot. Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Angela McKay Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand and Brent Toronto. Next ballot for Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Georgie Moosetail, Corey Nippenak. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Angela McKay Chartrand, Johnny Napiew, Brent Toronto.
She's coming clear this week.
Oh, thank you. Next ballot. Unfortunately, you didn't vote for anybody for chief. For council, it'll be Charlene Flatfoot, June Nippenak, Ricky Joseph Napiew. Next ballot. Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Cheryl Boucher. Harley Tyler Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail, and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand, June Nippenak, Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Georgie Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn McKay, Charlene, pardon me?
Don Chartrand. You said Don McKay?
Did I say Dawn McKay? Sorry. So we have Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand. Sorry about that. Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail, June Nippenak. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, John Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Kevin McKay. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Everett McKay. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Cheryl Boucher, Dawn Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, and Corey Nippenak. Next ballot for Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Fleck, Lauren Thompson. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, Dawn Chartrand, Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Joe Flett. That's it. Next ballot, Derek Nippenak, Chief. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot. Next ballot for Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Derek Nippenak. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, John Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Everett McKay, Randy Moosetail, Corey Nippenak, and June Nippenak. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nippenak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Kevin McKay, and Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, Joe Flett, and June Nepanak. Okay. Oh, the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, this is our last file. Okay. Okay, next ballot. Okay, for Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Corey Nepanak. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Corey Nepanak. For Chief, Dawn Asanya Delaron Moosetail. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Kevin McKay, June Nepanak, and Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, to Chief Bert McKay. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Corey Nepanak. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Matthew, Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand.
Wait, Dawn,
Yeah,
Harley.
yeah. Are you kidding? Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail. Always got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? We're just doing our job.
Yeah.
For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Kevin McKay. Got Kevin McKay? Randy Moosetail, Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail, and Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett, Angela McKay Chartrand, Johnny Matthew, and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, for Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett, Georgie Moosetail, and Johnny Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, and Ricky Joseph Matthew. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, the Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Randy Moosetail, and Corey Nepanak. Next ballot, the Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Everett McKay, Ricky Joseph Napu. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Everett McKay and Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, for Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Arthur McKay, Everett McKay. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, John Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher and Cheryl Boucher. Johnny Napu and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Georgie Moosetail, and Corey Nepanak. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Arthur McKay, Corey Nepanak, Johnny Napu, Ricky Joseph Napu. Next ballot, spoiled, he chose two. We will use his counselor though. I'll just circle, yeah. I'm just going to, just bear with me for 1 second.
They picked two chiefs and one counselor. Oh. She said, I think they can use the counselor. That means all spoiled.
Because we chose twice, but we will use his council votes. Okay, so council, Joe Flett, Georgie Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Brent Toronto. Next ballot, the Chief Lloyd Chartrand. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Next ballot, the Chief Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, and Kevin McKay. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie. We've got Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail and Randy Moosetail. Okay. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Arthur McKay, Randy Moosetail, Ricky Joseph Napu. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Cheryl Boucher, John Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, John Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Corey Nepanak, Lauren Thompson. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail, Corey Nepanak. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. Next ballot, Chief Donna Sonia Delaron Moosetail. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Johnny Napu. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, John Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, and Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Kevin McKay. Randy Moosetail. Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett. Johnny Napiew. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Don Chartrand. Kevin McKay. Georgie Moosetail. Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett. Johnny Napiew. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Don Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Johnny Napiew. Did we get Angela McKay Chartrand?
No.
Sorry, I jumped to Johnny Napiew before I should have.
Yeah.
You got her?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, you got her. Next ballot for Chief, Donna Sonia Delaron Moosetail. Next, Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Harley Tyler Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Charlene Flatfoot. Joe Flett. Georgie Moosetail. Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Joe Flett. Johnny Napiew. Ricky Joseph Napiew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Kevin McKay. Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, June Nippenack. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Charlene Flatfoot. Kevin McKay. Randy Moosetail. And Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Dawn Chartrand. Harley Tyler Chartrand. And Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett. Johnny Napiew. Ricky Joseph Napiew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Kevin McKay. Angela McKay Chartrand. And Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. Joe Flett. Kevin McKay. Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Joseph Chartrand Moosetail. Charlene Flatfoot. Angela McKay Chartrand. Charlene Flatfoot.
Miss Charlie.
Yeah, sorry.
And Angela McKay Chartrand.
Yeah.
Got her? Okay. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Kevin McKay. Georgie Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joe Flett. Johnny Napiew. Ricky Joseph Napiew. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand. Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Charlene Flatfoot. And Kevin McKay. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Harley Tyler Chartrand. And Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Dawn Chartrand. Kevin McKay. And June Nippenack. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay. Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. And Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Arthur McKay. Kevin McKay. Georgie Moosetail. Is that pace still good or am I going too fast? No, you're good? Okay. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Harley Tyler Chartrand. And Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenack. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Charlene Flatfoot. Angela McKay Chartrand. And Ricky Joseph Napiew. Next ballot for Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand. And Johnny Napiew. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Cheryl Boucher. And Brent Toronto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council Joseph Chun Boucher, Arthur McKay, and Brent Taranto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, and Brent Taranto. Next ballot for Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Nothing for Council. No. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cheryl Boucher, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Angela McKay Chartrand, Kevin McKay. Sorry, I did that. Sorry about that. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, and Kevin McKay. Next ballot for Chief Bert McKay, Council Dawn Chartrand, and Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot for Chief Bert McKay, Council Charlene Flatfoot, and Angela McKay Chartrand, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot. He unfortunately didn't put it in the X. I'll double check with Bert. Just 1 second. It should be in the box, but we'll see if he'll let it go.
He's doing better at this or
Yeah, we got verification
Charlie's
that it
doing
is
better
good.
like last year?
Okay. You have Randy Moosetail?
Yep.
Okay, so for Chief, Beverly Ann Cote and Randy Moosetail. And we did accept that even though it wasn't in the box.
Looks like a banana.
Okay, next ballot for Chief, Bert McKay, Brent Taranto. Next ballot for Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, and Brent Taranto. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote, Council Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote, Council Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Dawn Chartrand, Joe Flatt. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Joe Flatt, Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Dawn Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Everett McKay. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay, Council Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Joe Flatt. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Donna Sonia Delavan Moosetail. Council Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Randy Moosetail, and June Nepanak. Next ballot should be an X or a check mark, so I'll just verify if that's okay. Yeah, that's acceptable. Okay, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Harley Tyler Chartrand. Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Harley Tyler Chartrand. Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Ricky Joseph Naphew.
Okay, Arthur McKay, Kevin,
Yeah, Kevin McKay.
and,
Ricky Joseph Naphew.
oh,
Got that one? Yeah, okay. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepanak. Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Brent Taranto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flatt, Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay. For Chief Bert McKay. Council, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, John Chartrand and Kevin McKay. I'm so worried about getting it a Dawn and a John.
I know.
Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay Chartrand, and June Nippenak. Next ballot for Chief Derek Nippenak. For Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand and Ricky Joseph Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. For Council, Don Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot for Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, June Nippenak. Next ballot for Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Hey. Hey. For Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett. Next ballot. Chief, Bert McKay. Council, Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Joe Flett, June Nippenak, and Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenak, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Charlie Boucher, Chief, Councilor Joseph Chun Boucher, Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew, Ricky Joseph Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, June Nippenak, Johnny Nippenak, June Nippenak, Johnny Naphew, Ricky Joseph Naphew. Sorry about that, guys. Next ballot for Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Donna Sonia Delaron Moosetail. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Cheryl Boucher, Georgie Moosetail, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Georgie Moosetail, Ricky Joseph Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nippenak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Ricky Joseph Naphew. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, Johnny Naphew, Ricky Naphew. Did they break?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to break after this pile, or are you guys good?
After the pile, I guess.
After the pile?
Are
Okay.
they having a break?
Or maybe
Yeah, I
right
think-
away and then just put them on top of the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and take a break now while they're after that.
Well, same time.
Okay, so I'm just putting this pile here. We didn't call any of these out.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll put these ones in here. This, we didn't know you were taking a break. We thought you were done.
And then when they
All right, guys. So I am back. Well, I've been here the whole time, sort of. I've been helping out and doing things here on the side and listening in on the microphones and stuff. So a quick update on what's been happening so far. Table 1, which is the table on the right with the ladies that just sat down on the table there on the right, they got a first round up on the board. So they have come to a quick break. They're on the way to go for a smoke. Some of them are returning. Table 2, which is on the left-hand side right now, is still counting. All right, so they're going to continue their counts. And we're going to zoom in on the board to show you guys what's been written up there so far. All right. I know everybody's been kind of eager and waiting to see some numbers, some sort of results. And so these are round 1 from table 1, their numbers. There will be another set of numbers added from table 2, plus a third set of numbers from table 1, because they still have to continue their count. So at the moment, we got, it's pretty close between Charlie Boucher and Derek Nipinak. Quite a close race right now. And while the other candidates, the numbers are low right now, but we don't know what's coming out of table 2 right now. So all those numbers are going to get boosted up and they're all going to change right away. They're just going to, I think table 2 is going right through all their counts. So we're going to move on to the next section here. We're going to go into the council section. Here's some of the numbers that are currently written down. And on page number 1, it looks like Joseph Chun Boucher is currently leading at 94. No, he's in second and 95 on that sheet. Harley Tyler Chartrand is sitting currently at number 1 on that page with 136. And then in third, we got Cindy McKay Campbell. And so we're going to keep moving over because that's not just the only board. So there's this board too. And we're only looking at the first 2 pages. I know you guys are looking at the third page too, but we're looking at the first 2, so on left to right. And so you guys can see there, Joe Flett currently at 128 in the lead on those 3 sheets. And we're going to move over slightly over just to see what the last sheet says. And it looks like Johnny Niepu is sitting there in second with him at 124. And then we got Angela McKay Chartrand sitting at 86. So it's a pretty close race so far when it comes down to the council. There we go. We're going to go back into the view, the main view. A pretty close race so far in the council, and the chief race is kind of close, but it's kind of apart because we still don't know what's going on table number 2. So we got to wait for all those numbers to come in, and that can change things fairly quickly. Sorry, did I say quickie? As meant quickly. And so that's where we're at right now, and we're going to update you guys as we go along. But table number 1 is now back on the table, and they're back into counting. Table 2 has not stopped. They're continuing to count right now. I'm going to put the mic back on table 2, unless you guys want me to put it on table 1. I'll put it on table 2 for now, and I'll turn up the volume. I'm going to turn down the volume on my mic. I'm going to go over there and clear out some of those sheets from her table, and we're going to update you guys as we go along. All right, my apologies for any mishaps there. I'll be right back.
Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, and Brent Caronto. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote, Council Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Brent Caronto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Charlene Blackfoot, and Brent Caronto. Next ballot, Chief Charlie Willie Boucher, Council Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Joe Flack. Next ballot, Chief Beverly Ann Cote, and for Council, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Bert McKay, Council. What? Bert McKay. Chief.
Chief Bert McKay.
Yeah, Bert McKay.
Charlie Bertie.
Charlie Bert McKay. Did I say Charlie Bert McKay? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Sorry, Bert McKay. For Council, Dawn Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Blackfoot, Brent Caronto. Next ballot, for Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Cheryl Boucher, Joe Flack. Brent Peranto. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepinak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Derek Nepinak. Council, Cheryl Boucher. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Everett McKay, Georgie Moosetail, and Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Don Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, and Charlene Flatfoot, Brent Peranto. Next ballot, Chief Bert McKay. Council, Don Chartrand, Angela McKay Chartrand, Johnny Naphew, Brent Peranto. Got it? Okay. Next, for Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew. Next ballot for Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher. Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew, Brent Peranto. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nepinak. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Ricky Joseph Naphew. Next ballot, Chief, Donna Sonia Delaron Moosetail. Council, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand and June Nepinak. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Don Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Brent Peranto. Next ballot, Chief, Charlie Willie Boucher. Council, Joseph Chun Boucher, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nepinak. Council, Harley Tyler Chartrand, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Council, Chief, Derek Nepinak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay Chartrand, Randy Moosetail. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nepinak. Council, Angela McKay Chartrand. Next ballot, Chief, Donna Sonia Delaron Moosetail. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Arthur McKay, and Ricky Joseph Naphew. Next ballot, Chief, Derek Nepinak. Council, Cindy Campbell McKay, Jennifer Chartrand Moosetail, Arthur McKay, Randy Moosetail.
Okay, we got 180.
Okay, we'll stop here. We'll put this in the box. Okay, so now what I need you guys to do is total up how much you have in your...
Okay.
All right, so it looks like they're gonna stop for a second here on table 2 right now. They're doing a tally, so it's like they're around one tally, so there'll be 4 sets of numbers on the board by the time this is done, it looks like. So right now they're tallying up their counts, and I'm assuming they're likely going to take a quick breather, a quick 5-minute break, and then they're going to resume and finish off their count. There was around 1,100 votes roughly, or ballots that came in. Maybe even a little bit more, but the count was estimated, for me, it was estimated around 1,100, give or take a little bit. And we got I'm going to say there's probably like 100 ballots on each table, something like that. So we're getting pretty close to almost being done, maybe about 45 minutes from now. Might be a little bit sooner than that. We'll see how that works. Table 1 has been going nonstop. They took a quick break and then they kept going, so they're getting close to being done with their numbers. And they already put their round 1 numbers on there, so we're waiting for them to put their second round numbers. But table number 2 is tallying up their numbers, and they're going to put their numbers up right away, and then we're going to go back to the board. So I'm going to move the mic back again to table number 1, and you guys can listen in on that one in the meantime. All right? mic. So I switched to mic, and now I'm going to turn up the volume on their mic and turn down the volume on mine.
Council, Brent Toronto. For Chief is Derek. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail, Brent Toronto. For Chief is Derek. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail, Brent Toronto. For Chief is Charlie. Council, Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail, Corey Nepanak. For Chief is Derek Nepanak. Council, Arthur McKay. For Chief is Charlie. Council, Chun, Cindy Campbell McKay, Don Chartrand, Harley Chartrand. For Chief is Charlie. Council, Chun gets one, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew. For Chief is Derek Nepanak, June Nepanak. For Chief is Derek Nepanak. Council, no vote there. Arthur McKay, Corey Nepanak, Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Council, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief is Donna Delaron. Council, Jennifer Chartrand. For Chief is Donna Delaron. Council, Jennifer Chartrand. The last two ballots, we got Derek Nepanak for Chief. Council, Don Chartrand, Harley Chartrand. This one's a no vote. Brent Toronto. The last Chief vote's going to go Bev Cody. Council, John J.O.N. Chartrand. Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail, Lauren Thompson. Right on, guys. Let's get our tallies together. I don't think they're done yet, eh? You're not done yet, Sherry? Okay. Okay, guys, carefully add. Table 2, count 2. Table 1, count 2. I'll come help you, Sherry.
I wanted you to hear this. I was questioning what I didn't see. I didn't hear how many votes Charlie had.
Yeah.
I'm not a Charlie supporter, but I'm still, questioning whether.
All right, so it looks like table 1 is now done their counts. And table 2 still has a stack to go. So table 2 right now is just tallying up their numbers. They're going to add their numbers on the wall right away. Table 1 is completely done, so they're going to put their numbers on the wall right away. And then we're going to go onto the wall and check out the updated numbers. It's not going to be tallied up yet though, okay guys? You guys can all do that at home if you guys want to add everything up and kind of have an idea of where everything's at. But it won't be tallied up until the last numbers get inputted onto the board.
Yeah, that's all we got left. These are done. Okay, let me do these. That's the table. We just everybody stay put. Everybody take a 5-minute time out.
Everybody's on a quick 5-minute break except for the electoral officer and the second leader from table number 2. Pretty exciting, right guys?
Could people comment?
Pardon me?
Could people comment?
They are commenting, yeah. Yeah. There's like 200 people watching.
Really?
It's been steady, yeah.
Could they see the numbers on the board you showed?
Well, I'm going to show them once they update it, so.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for them to update it.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Moment of truth almost coming up, guys. Not quite yet, but we're almost there. At least now you guys are going to have sort of an idea where everything's at. Sorry for the whistle there. But you're going to have sort of the idea what's going on so far because you're going to have 3 sets of numbers on there. Only 1 set of numbers missing. So that last set of numbers, about 100 votes, I think, or 100 ballots. Just tallying up some numbers, and everybody's kind of looking at it right now, so I'm just gonna move. Well, I'm gonna kind of wait because everybody's sort of standing there. I don't know, everybody just wants to see the numbers. I get it, there's a lot of anticipation, but it's hard for me to kind of zoom in on the board when everybody's standing in the way. And the funny thing is that they all want to see the numbers just so they can message you guys and say, hey, this is what's going on so far. But right now, everybody's watching, and they're the only reason why we can't see what the numbers are. Funny how that all works. Hi, my niece, Denise McKay. Shai Ladon says, not exciting at all. If anything, it will be a sad day for this community and for the next 4 years. Anticipation is right. Well, we all feel differently about it, right? For me, it's anticipation because I know that, there's usually a build-up and people are looking forward to seeing the numbers, and I don't know, not everybody's going to feel the same, obviously, but then we go back to that same line where I was talking about earlier, that in order for the community to grow, you just have to try to accept your leadership and try to work with them, so that way the community can prosper in a better direction instead of trying to fight against them and making it harder for the growth to move forward. But that's on you guys. That's what everybody has to decide as a member, and I'm just telling you right now that the only way to move forward as a team is to work as a team. Right? But we'll see where we're at with the numbers, and we're just waiting for everything to get updated. And I don't really want to shy away from where we're at, right? Because there's still a little bit of ballots there. Well, I guess I can kind of move over, right? Because the table 1 is already done, so we'll move over a little bit. I'm gonna have to wait. I'm just gonna have to wait. I'm sorry, guys, but the sheets are sitting there right now. You guys can see the sheets on the right. Right. So the sheets are sitting right there, and that's the last. Let's zoom in to see how many ballots are there. I mean, we're not going to be able to count it right now, but we're at least going to be able to have an idea roughly how many ballots are there. So that's a stack of ballots that we're waiting on right now. And I don't want to move the camera away from there until they all get back on the table and they continue their count. At that point, everybody's going to be away from the board, and then I'm going to be able to zoom in on the board while they continue their counts. And what I'll do maybe is, I'll set the mic up on their table. I'll go do that right now. While we're waiting for them to get set up here. So I'll set up a mic on their table again. You guys will be able to hear the final counts, and you guys are going to get a little bit more excited about this one because, it's the final numbers. So when you guys are listening to every call, every name that comes out, you basically have an idea where everything's going to end, what numbers are going to be where. So they're about to get going right now. I'm going to go take that microphone over there to the table. We're going to get them set up. I'm going to be talking for a little bit while we go over the board or the numbers on the board, and then I'm going to switch my mic back to them. We're going to do this quickly though, because these guys are about to get into the count, and I don't want you guys to miss too much of that. Sorry guys, I don't know why this mic is doing what it's doing, man, but let's get to the board right now. Let's go zoom in to the board and see what's going on. I know everybody's kind of waiting to find out what's up. These are the numbers that are tallied up. We're gonna, I'm not even gonna tally up. I'm just gonna show you guys so you have an idea, okay? Because we want to go back onto the mic where they're at, where they're counting. So we're just gonna do a quick glance or a quick walkthrough. You guys can see the numbers there, and these are not tallied up yet. These are the tallies from each round. There's still one round to be put on there, so there'll be 4 sets of numbers on there. When the 4th set of numbers are on, at that point, they're going to add them all up. They'll tally it up, and then they're going to make an official. I guess he'll put an E for elected, and he'll circle that, and that's going to let you guys know who's been elected today. And then I'm assuming he's going to make an official announcement at that point. He's got a mic right beside him, so he should be able to do that. We're going to move over to the next page right now. And so this is the council sheet. The first 2, there's 6 sheets altogether. So we're going to go 2 by 2 by 2. All right. Leave it on there for a second. Move over to the next one. So we're looking at the first 2. There'll be another set right after that. I'm going to show you right away. Leave it on here for a second. This lady is taking down some numbers. Move over to the next one. All right, that's the final sheets right there. So we're gonna take a second now to switch the mic over to their table, and then I'm gonna switch the view back onto them as well, so you guys can really zone in on it. Pretty close race though so far, guys. Very, very close race.
Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Don Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail, Randy Moosetail. For Chief Derek, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Ricky Napu. For Chief, Donna Delaron. Council Harley Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Randy Moosetail, Johnny Napu. For Chief Charlie, Council Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Cheryl Bushy, Jennifer Chartrand. For Chief Derek, Council Angela McKay, Charlene Flatfoot. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Don Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Kevin McKay, Corey Nepanak. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Arthur McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Randy Moosetail, Brent Peranto. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Cheryl Bushy, Johnny Napu, Brent Peranto. For Chief Charlie, Council Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Angela McKay, Brent Peranto. For Chief Charlie, Council Kevin McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Johnny Napu, Brent Peranto. For Chief Donna Delaron, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Ricky Napu, Lauren Thompson. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Joe Flett, Johnny Napu, Brent Peranto. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Ricky Napu. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Harley Chartrand. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief, no vote. Too bad, eh? These, no good, eh? Council Charlene Flatfoot, June Nepanak. Please put that in there. For Chief Derek Nepanak, spoiled chief got it. So he got one. Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Georgie Moosetail, June Nepanak. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Corey Nepanak, Johnny Napu. Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Don Chartrand, that's D-O-N, Don. Joe Flett, Johnny Napu. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Jennifer Chartrand, Angela McKay, June Nepanak. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Cheryl Bushy, Harley Chartrand, Arthur McKay. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Ricky Napu, Lauren Thompson. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, John Chartrand, Arthur McKay. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cheryl Boucher, Harley Chartrand, Angela McKay, Brent Peranto. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Don Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail, Randy Moosetail. For Chief Bert McKay, Council Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail, Ricky Napu. For Chief Bert McKay,
Who was the
Council
last one on the last page?
Ricky Napu.
Okay. Got it.
So you got Bert
Yep. Oh.
for Chief?
Yep.
Now, there's only two here, Charlene Flatfoot, Ricky Napu. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Charlene Flatfoot, Johnny Napu. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Chun, Harley Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Don Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief Bert McKay, Council Charlene Flatfoot, Everett McKay, Angela McKay, Ricky Napu. For Chief Bert McKay, Council Cindy Campbell McKay, Dawn Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Angela McKay. For Chief Charlie Bushy, Council Chun, Cheryl Bushy, Harley Chartrand, Kevin McKay. For Chief Derek Nepanak, Council Don Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, Johnny Napu, For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Harley Chartrand, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Everett McKay. For Chief, Bert McKay. Counsel, Chun, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief, Bert McKay. Counsel, Don Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Joe Flett, Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Bert McKay. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Georgie Moosetail, June Nepanak, Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Chun, Harley Chartrand, Joe Flett, Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Charlene Flatfoot, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Don Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Ricky Naphew, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Donna Delaron Moosetail. Counsel, Arthur McKay. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Joe Flett, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Don Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Angela McKay, Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Lauren Thompson. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, June Nepanak, Johnny Naphew, Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Harley Chartrand, John Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Joe Flett. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Chun, Cheryl Bushy, Don Chartrand, Harley Chartrand. Harley is what I meant to say, Harley. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Kevin McKay. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Don Chartrand, Harley Chartrand, Randy Moosetail, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Georgie Moosetail, Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. For Counsel, Chun, Cheryl Bushy, Johnny Naphew, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Harley Chartrand, Georgie Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Arthur McKay. For Chief, Donna Delaron. Counsel, Harley Chartrand, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Beverly Cody. Counsel, Chun, Cindy Campbell McKay, Georgie Moosetail, Johnny Naphew. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Chun, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Donna Delaron. Counsel, Jennifer Chartrand, Kevin McKay, Angela McKay. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Cindy Campbell McKay, Harley Chartrand, Angela McKay, Brent Peranto. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, John Chartrand. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, John Chartrand. For Chief, Derek Nepanak. Counsel, Harley Chartrand, Charlene Flatfoot, Randy Moosetail, Ricky Naphew. For Chief, Bert McKay. Counsel, Harley Chartrand, Arthur McKay, Angela McKay, Randy Moosetail. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Chun, Harley Chartrand, John Chartrand, Joe Flett. For Chief, Charlie Bushy. Counsel, Cheryl Bushy, Harley Chartrand, Angela McKay, June Nepanak. For Chief, last ballot, Charlie Bushy. Chun gets one for Counsel. Joe Flett, Randy Moosetail, Brent Peranto. Okay, let's tally it up. Where's our people? Pens, Darcy, Sherry, markers.
All right, so they're going to be tallying up everything right now, and we're going to see the numbers, but the ballots are now all officially, I can't even speak. They have all been officially counted now. So that's it. We're going to find out right away who's been elected this time. The excitement builds up. Moment of truth. Shall we put the, well, I don't know. Like, there's so many people going there right now. So many people going there right now. Woo. We're going to slide over just a little bit. We'll let them do their thing. There we go. Now, before we go up there and give you guys the board and everything, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in today. Thank you for liking and sharing today. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know that it was a long day, starting, roughly about 8 o'clock in the morning for us, 9 in the morning for you guys, and we've been here all day long. The prediction was that we're going to be here roughly till 1, at least that's what I thought. They told me around midnight, and it looks like they were a little bit closer than I was, because now it's 11:12, and we're almost there. We're just tallying up the numbers. So thanks guys once again. I'm gonna go up there. There's so many people up there right now, there's no point. There's my name on the screen once again, bottom right side of the corner, or the bottom right corner of the screen. Rod Arriagada. If you guys want to add me on Facebook, you guys want to follow me on Facebook, feel free to do so. If you guys got any questions, or if you guys are looking to get some events covered, let me know, message me, and I'll do my best to get you guys, or get in contact with you guys. So we're gonna go onto the board. We're just waiting. We got some people still sitting in the way. Let's do that right now. There is your numbers. They haven't been added up yet. We're waiting for that to happen. Here we go. I can feel the intensity right now. Wasted. I'm always running out of my popcorn. Hurry up. That's hilarious, man. You guys are a funny crowd for sure. Sorry, but I want to see the board. Hey, that's no problem. I put it on there. That's no problem. I just, there were so many people in the way, so I figured I'd come over there and bring the camera on myself and say thank you, and basically my outro, say goodbye to you guys. It's been a pleasure so far. I've enjoyed myself here in Pine Creek. Well, there's the numbers right now. Unofficial until the electoral officer makes it official, but the numbers aren't lying. The numbers are in front of you. I can't officially announce, but you guys can officially see. Very close race. You guys can see 26 vote difference. That's how close it was. 26 vote difference. Unbelievable. And I want to say something, but I'm going to wait. And I can't even show you guys the board yet because everybody's standing in the way. So we're just going to leave it on here for now. Let you guys soak in the moment and feel how you want to feel about the outcome for the chief position. I can tell you right now, based on what I've seen from the candidates forum, that you guys have a pretty good leader in Derek. He's got his head on his shoulders. He's got a good vision for the future. Not sure if that's the outcome that you guys were all looking for or not, but I do know that he's a good candidate for sure, because he was just all around. He was balanced when it came down to the candidates forum. Had answers for everything, any question that came his way, he was ready for it. Up to date with the current news in the world. And he seemed very knowledgeable. I mean, I can say that about almost every candidate that came on there for the candidates forum, because all of them were very, very sharp. It would have been a lot nicer if we would have got all the candidates in there for the candidates forum, but unfortunately we weren't able to. So page number 2 is free. Let's move on to page number 2. Let's see what's up. This is the council. Oops. Council list. Ooh, I'm trying to get that number in there. And well, I can't really do anything until he circles all the numbers. So right now he's just adding up all the all the tallies. And then once all the numbers are on the board, he's going to go around circling the top 4 numbers. So currently right now on this sheet, it looks like the top 2 are Harley Tyler Chartrand with 337, Cindy McKay Campbell with 263. There may be some numbers that are a little bit higher than that yet on the next pages. We're going to find out. I just can't, I'll move over right now just so you guys see. There's just so many people and it's hard to see. So, but we'll leave it on there because he's marking down some numbers. Yeah, I know you guys want to see the numbers. It's all about the numbers, right?
How many people are watching now? 300? 300 people.
So right now, the first 2 numbers that we talked about, Cindy and Harley Chartrand, are still higher than the ones on these 3 boards, and there's still 2 more after that, or 3 sheets. There's still 2 more sheets. And I can't see because the gentleman in orange is kind of in the way. Well, everybody's in the way right now, which is the reason why they don't want to zoom in on this. But we're going to leave it on here out of courtesy for everyone. $199, $244, $95, $196, $220, $130, $38, $221. None of those numbers are higher. Move over a little bit more. Let's check out the last sheets of counts. 244, Angela McKay. I believe there was somebody on the first sheet that was a little bit higher than 244, so the first sheet has 3 of them that are the highest numbers right now. And you can't see the last one, so there we go, 233. We're gonna go back to the main board. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Leave me some feedback. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the stream and what you thought of the quality. And yeah, drop me a like. I know you guys already did the sharing. Thank you for the sharing. You guys were awesome for that. Let's move on to the next page. We're going back to the beginning again. So the first one was chief. Officially elected. Your new chief, Derek Nipnak. Elected as council, Cindy McKay Campbell, or Campbell McKay, Don Chartrand, Harley Tyler Chartrand, sorry, went back again, didn't mean to do that. Oh, what did I do? There we go. It's not official until the electoral officer announces it, but it looks like Angela is also in there. He's marking all the numbers down right now. And he's going to make an official announcement. He's got a mic set up over there, so we're going to do that. But before we get to that point, let me just go over here and say congratulations to your new chief and council. May you guys have a blessed journey, and may you help your community prosper into something that's never been done before. Lots of people tuning in. My signal is dropping like crazy because there's lots of people tuning in to watch this right now. Congratulations, guys. And I hope that, you know, everybody's happy with the outcome, and those that are not happy with the outcome, I hope that you guys do your best to support your new chief and council, because together you will prosper a lot further than if you are not working together. So congratulations, guys, and very exciting times for everyone. And we're gonna go back onto the camera right now. You can turn on the mic there.
This one? Yeah, but look how short it is. This one. This one. What the heck, Rod? No, it's okay. Okay, is it on or? Oh, sorry, guys. It's not Rod's fault. It's mine. No more heck. Okay. Let me know, Rod, when I can do this. All right. It was a tough one, but we do have our results. It is a 4-year term under the First Nations Elections Act. For Chief, with 401 votes, Derek Niepenak's been elected. Your council for the next 4 years will be Cindy Campbell McKay. This is all in alphabetical order. Cindy Campbell McKay with 263. Don Chartrand with 254. Harley Chartrand with 337. And on the right here, we got Angela McKay Chartrand, 244. That's your council. It's effective immediately, and they take a 4-year term. Congratulations to everyone. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks to Rod Arriagada, who does our live feeds. And again, Turtle Nation Holdings is my company. Get a hold of us if you want any live streaming done. Rod will do that for you. And any election, referendum, votes, anything of that nature, we're more than willing to come out to your community. Thank you.
Alrighty, so that was your electoral officer, Burke Ratty, and I guess we're gonna go back onto my face because, you know, I don't know, I guess I want a little bit of spotlight since he said thank you to Rod, right? Gotta put myself on there, right? I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed all of it. Congratulations to your new chief and council, and very exciting times. I'm telling you right now, I can just feel the excitement everywhere. But that's gonna be it for today. Let's go back again one more time. Let's do some more fireworks, man, before we leave, all right? And then we're gonna do an outro real quick. Here we go. Yeah, that's what it's all about right there. All right, folks. So if you guys want to subscribe to our channel, you can find us on YouTube. We're Turtle Nation Holdings. That's how you can find us on YouTube. Look us up. You'll see that symbol, that logo. That's us. You'll know that you're in the right place. And this stream is going to be uploaded onto YouTube, so you guys will be able to watch it on there. And you can also, you know, subscribe to our channel, and then you'll get notified every time that we go live around different communities throughout Canada. And we are traveling a lot. We're doing the different communities, so you're going to be able to see a little bit of perspectives from different communities and how they run and how they do things. And it's just a good eye opener, right? I mean, the only way to progress is, like I said earlier, is to work together. And so when you get down to working together as a community, why not work together as a nation, right? So let's move forward from there. I hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. We are Turtle Nation Holdings. You can reach us at turtlenationholdings@gmail.com if you're looking to get a hold of us via email and by phone number. You can do it at 204-228-4786. And if you want to go check out the website, turtlenationholdings.com. That's where you go check it out. We're going to do a quick commercial. It's 15 seconds, and then we're going to move our way out as we've been moving our way out already. So here we go. A quick recap of the candidates that were running in this term, or were trying to run in this term. Congratulations to everyone that has been elected, and, you know, better luck next time, guys, for those that didn't get elected. Don't be defeated because you still got some time. You got a few years to be able to get your campaign in order, to be able to progress in your community, and to be able to come back and make a comeback for the next term. You never know. Don't knock on the floor until it's late. Just keep on doing your thing, man. Just keep on doing your thing. Your turn is coming too. that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the coverage from the 2021 Chief and Council General Elections live from Pine Creek First Nation. We were at the Frontier School Division. Great host. They did everything they could to accommodate us, and they even ensured that we had the Wi-Fi after 12. So shout out to all of them. Shout out to all the security that came in through the day, that made sure that everything went smooth through the election, that came in through the night and made sure that everything went smooth with the ballot counts. Thank you to everyone that did everything that they have done, and including the volunteers, the scrutineers and the volunteers who helped count every one of them. Thank you very much. If it wasn't for all you guys, none of this ever would have been possible, or it never would have been accomplished as quickly and as professional as it was. So thank you to everyone for that. That's it for tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're Trail Nation Holdings. I'm Rod Arriagada. If you guys want to follow me or add me on Facebook, feel free to do so. I will be there on Facebook waiting for you guys to message me. And don't forget, if you're an Aboriginal music artist or musician, message me. If you want to get your music exposed, you want to get it on the streams, no problem, man. Free of charge. I want to help you become exposed so everybody knows how talented you are. And if you're an Aboriginal business and you want to get in touch with me so I can advertise your company, message me. I'll work something out with you guys. That's going to be it for tonight, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it all. We'll see you again soon. Have a good night, everyone. Cheers.